Welcome back, guys, to Warhammer Weekend Times. I'm your host, Stan, and before we start this replay, I just wanted to take this moment and say thank you. You guys have been amazing, and I want to dedicate this video to everybody who has watched my videos, liked and subscribed and commented, and has supported this channel in some way or another. I also really want to take this time to thank the mod developers. You guys have done an amazing job with Call of Warhammer Beginning of the End Times, and it's been an incredible journey. And everybody who has come to this channel and made it what it is today, I just really want to say thanks, because this would not be possible without you guys. So this video is dedicated to you, the viewer, and it's just been an amazing journey. And the best part is it's just beginning. So let's go ahead and get into the replay, guys. We have 3 Chaos armies over here. We have Jankadoodle playing as the Chaos Dwarves. We have Sippy Sappo playing as Chaos Undivided. And I am going to be over here playing as the Beastmen, also as Chaos Undivided. Over here we have Tom Doof playing as Reikland. He is going to be on the attacking team, along with Trevor C playing as the High Elves, and then over here we have Spyfly123 playing as the Dwarves. So we have 3 good armies assaulting a massive Chaos Shrine. Let's go ahead and go over the army composition, guys, and then we will go full speed. But over here, Spyfly has got a unit of Giant Slayers. He's also got a unit of Elders in the back. Over here, he's got 2 units of Iron Drakes, which are very high unit count, or high model count in these units. He's got some Longbeards, a long line of those. He's got some Norse Dwarf Crossbowmen. Looks like he's also got some Quarrelers and Miners. Over here, he's got some artillery. Actually, no, I'm sorry, guys. These are Norse Dwarf Warriors. Look like they were pushing an artillery unit up. Over here, he has some artillery. He's got some Dwarf Mortar, an Organ Gun in front. Over here, he's got several units of Iron Breakers, and I think that's going to be most of his army. I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh, yeah, he's also got some Prince Ulthur's Dragon Company. I did miss these, even though they were right in the middle of everything. And I think that's going to be mostly his army. Over here for Trevor's army, he has a unit of Tyrannok Chariots. He's also got a couple units of Swordmasters of Hoeth with armor and weapon upgrades. And look at those weapon upgrades, all those runed swords. The armor upgrades looks amazing, too. They have kind of these, like, male coifs, I guess, is that, you call that those? I'm not quite sure, they're kind of like a mask. He's also got several units of High Elf Spears. He's got a unit of Sisters of Avalorn, several units of High Elf Archers. Over here in the back, looks like he's got some more High Elf Spears. He's got several units of Lothern Seaguard as well. He's got 2 units of Dragon Princes of Calidor, and in the back, it looks like he's got some White Lions, and then a unit of Lore Masters of Hoeth. And then also way up here, he charged his dragons in very early. He's got some dragons somewhere. Here they are. Yeah, they're over here. They're chewing through some of these Chaos Warrior halberds already, but we'll get to them in just a moment. Over here for Tom Doof's army, he has got a line of gunners in front. He's also got some Warrior Priests of Sigmar to help bolster the morale of his units, some Bright Wizards, a long line of Empire Halberdiers. Those fast attack animations are going to be pretty good against some of the Beastmen, which have kind of low defense stats. He's also got some Witch Hunters, a really heavy unit count of Master Engineers, the Peter handguns. Over here in the back, he's got some Great Swords. I think he's also got some Empire Swordsmen kind of mixed in here as well. He's got 2 units of Empire Mortar, a War Altar of Sigmar in the back. He's got some Empire Archers, and then over here he has a Conqueror Steam Tank, and those Steam Tanks are always so good. They get those amazing artillery shots. Over here, he's got his Cav Force. He's got some Reiksguard Knights, and then a unit of Griffins. Kind of reflecting back on this, I think I probably should have given Reikland a little more Cav. Only having 1 Reiksguard Knight unit and some Griffins is really not that good, especially in Medieval 2, where cavalry is just a power force, or, you know, a power sub whatever, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Over here for my army, I have a ton of Bestigor Herd, lots and lots of Bestigors. I've also got some Gore Herds in the back. I've got several units of Ungor Raiders, and then I have several units of Minotaurs. Over here, and that's going to be most of my army, I think I've also got some Senegors over here, 3 units of Senegors. Over here, Sippy Sappo has got several units of Chaos Knights. I think he's got 3 in total. He's also got a couple of units of Chaos Warriors. He's got some Marauder Horsemen. He's got some Chaos Warriors with halberds, which are still fighting against these dragons. We are on only 10% speed, so they've not done a lot since we've last circled around to these guys, but they have killed some of those Chaos Warriors with halberds. Looks like Jankadoodle's got some Wolf Riders over here, some Hobgoblin Wolf Riders. Sippy has 1 of each Chosen unit, including the new Chaos Chosen, which they look so good. They're probably my new favorite Chosen unit, to be honest. I think they also have bonus against Cav. It's not a bunch, but it does help out. Over here, Sippy's also got a Hell Cannon of Chaos, and I think that's going to be most of his army. He's just bringing a lot of heavy troops, or at least in the scenario, there are a lot of heavy troops. He does have several units of Marauders, though. 2 Marauders and a unit of Marauder. Desolators. Oh, he's also got a Sorcerer Chaos unit somewhere. There's a dead one over here, so that's what they look like. We're going to peek up his dress. Let's go ahead. Okay, here they are, right here. Let's go ahead and look at Jankadoodle's army, and that should be the last army to go over, and then we can go full speed. But like I said earlier, he's got some Hobgoblin Wolf Riders over here. Over here, he's got a ton of Black Orcs. He's got some Infernal Guard. I think 2 units of Infernal Guard. He's got a Hell Cannon of Chaos. It looks like the Chaos Dwarf crossbows are already firing away. You can kind of see their projectiles up in the air. Those are going to make a nice little kind of a light show when they hit the ground, but he's got some Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen and some Chaos Dwarf warriors kind of mixed in here. Looks like he's got some Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives up in front. He's got some Death Rockets, and then he's got just a mass of Hobgoblins over here, and then I think he's got a couple of units of Blunderbuss, which can be really deadly, although terrain angling is really important with the Blunderbuss. I haven't really tried them out in this new version, so we'll have to see how they kind of perform. But anyway, guys, those are the armies. Let's go ahead and go full speed. It's going to take just a minute for us to get into our final positions. But Tom Doof is moving up here ever so slightly. He's getting his Bright Wizards kind of close, and I think he's trying to bait me out with these because I don't really have anything that's ranged that can do a lot of damage to him. I do have the Ungor Raiders, but they're, you know, I mean, they're Ungor Raiders, guys. They're not the best, the best archers in the game. They do have quite a few in the unit, but it takes them a little while to get going. So, but here we go. Hell Cannon shot coming out. It's going to barely miss the dwarves over here. Those Corlers are going to be spared a nasty shot. But over here, looks like the Tyrnok Chariots are just charging in. They're going to be pushing in through some of these Death Rockets. Looks like they're going to be trying to push through those Minotaurs as well. But there's a ton going on over here. I don't know if these... Yeah, they're not in combat against anything quite yet. Over here, I'm going to be charging up my Bestigor herd, trying to hit these mages. He's just walking them away, and I'm running in. And it looks like he tried, or Tom Doof tried to kind of tag me with those Griffins. It didn't work. He's going to charge in with his Reiksguard Knights. I'm going to try and counter-charge with my Bestigor herd, but I'm going to just get slaughtered right there on the charge. Look how many Bestigor are going to just get killed. I think I started, 125 in a unit, and they're down to 40, and they're already routing. It does look like the Bright Wizards over here are trying to fire in and do a bit of damage, but I think their angling is going to be a little funny. It looks like a few of these Centaurs are going to burst into flame, but I think at the angle they're at, they might not be exploding properly. Over here we see the Bestigors getting bested by some Griffins, and that's going to get really, really nasty over here. It looks like Tom Doof is getting his Master Engineers into position along with some of his other units. His Empire Swordsmen and his Greatswords are moving in. His Handgunners are in pretty decent position to start taking out some of my other units. I am going to move around, though, with my Centaurs. Get into a really deadly flanking position over here. I'm going to charge them in against these Master Engineers with Peter Handguns, and here we go, guys. This is going to be a great charge here. I apologize. This is getting a little bit framey. But here they go. They're going to charge in and do a ton of damage to those Master Engineers with the Peter Handguns. Going to kill nearly half of them. Lots of explosion going off as well. The mortars are blowing up over here, doing a lot of damage to my Gore Herd. They are beginning to waver. Let's go see what's going on the other side of the battlefield right now. So we can catch any goodness. But over here, it does look like that some of the Dwarf Artillery is firing in. The Tyrnok Chariots have routed. And it does look like, those organ guns are doing a lot of damage against these Chaos Dwarves and against my Minotaurs. I don't think I've lost any Minotaurs yet, but that artillery is definitely stacking up some HP damage. And look at that, just firing round after round into my units. But it does look like this Hell Cannon is getting primed to fire. Let's see if it's gonna shoot any shots off for us. Maybe, please. There it goes. It's getting ready. It's going to fire off. Going to go straight into the Prince Ulther's Dragon Company right over here. Going to do a ton of damage to them. It's going to kill about 30 of those Dragon Company, which is pretty rough. The Dwarves, that's their biggest issue. They do have shield wall formation, which I think it doubles their mass or increases their mass by 50%. I'm not 100% sure about the value, but it masses them together. I don't think they were there, but they were just in kind of a close formation, and those Hell Cannons can do a ton of damage if you're not careful. It does look like a lot of these Dwarves, however, are going to be engaged against these Hobgoblins. They shouldn't have too much of an issue kind of pushing past these, and it does look like these Longbeards are moving up over here. Another shot from the Hell Cannon. Looks like that's Sippy Sappo's Hell Cannon. It's going to do a bunch of damage to these High Elf Spears. Going to go from 92 to 64 in a unit. I guess maybe 97 to 64 in a unit. So that did quite a bit of damage. It does look like the Sisters of Avalorn are beginning to fire in, though, some suppression shots into some of these Infernal Guard with Fire Glaze. You can see some of these guys have caught fire from those. I think they have armor piercing. I'm not 100% sure though on those Sisters of Avalorn. I'd have to ask Tom Dew for one of the other devs. But over here, I do have my Minotaurs. They're pretty surrounded over here. It's pretty rough, and I am getting some support from Sippy Sappo. My Bestigors are getting kind of roughed up by some of this cav. Tom Duke does not have a lot of cav left, and kind of like I said earlier, I think maybe Empire could have had a little more cav. These Bright Wizards are going to be firing into my Minotaurs, though. I'm going to lose one right there. Typically, Bright Wizards don't do a lot of HP damage to single targets. They're kind of a better AoE unit, but in this capacity, I don't think he can make too many mistakes. I am blobbed up pretty hard here. My Bestigor herd over here is routing. I do have some of these Minotaurs over here fighting valiantly against these handgunners. These handgunners are actually they're actually tanking my minnows, so the other handgunners can fire in, and it does look like the Bright Wizards are just going crazy with that fire. It looks like Tom might be actually doing a little more damage to himself over here than he is to my line. I'm going to be moving my Centaurs around just a little bit to get them into a decent position. Looks like I'm going to move them over here into the mortars, and I think I'm going to try and push over some of my Minotaurs in. It looks like some of the Gyrocopters are also coming. Oh, I also missed the Gyrocopters, guys. I apologize. Spyfly had some Gyrocopters, and it looks like they're going to come in and do a bit of damage. They're really good against lightly armored units. Let's slow this down just a little bit, guys, too, because there is a lot happening on the battlefield. But the Bright Wizards are firing in over here. I do have some of my Minotaurs still left alive, although Sippy Sappo's Chaos Warriors are coming in, and they're really going to help me out in this engagement. I probably am going to be okay with Sippy's Knights coming in. There's a lot of heavy units that Sippy's pushing in, and a lot of Tom Doof's units are beginning to thin out. He just doesn't have a lot of his power units left. Let's go ahead and go over here to this side of the battlefield. I think Spyfly is getting in position with some of his more powerful units like his Iron Drakes. And here we go, guys. We're going to get a nice Iron Drake shot over here into the Infernal Guard. They're actually going to be shaken. And if Spy can put enough pressure on these Infernal Guard, he may even force them to rout. Looks like Trevor's going to be moving up some of his Dragon Princes of Calidor. I don't know if he's charging in yet, though. I think he's going to be moving them in. And it looks like he's just going to be trying to kind of wedge out his formation, but I think his micro is going to be elsewhere actually right now. And that's going to give Jankadoodle an opportune moment to charge in his Black Orcs and do a bunch of damage there. It also looks like, man, look at these Iron Drakes firing into these Nurgle Chosen. They are 2 HP, these Nurgle Chosen, so they're going to be able to take some of those shots from those Iron Drakes pretty effectively. But you can see some of these Nurgle Chosen are thinning out, even though they do have a shield. I don't think Iron Drakes are armor piercing. They have had some changes done to them since 1.01, and I have to kind of check up on some of their stats to kind of reacquaint myself. I don't play Dwarves very often, guys. They have been improved significantly, but I just don't play them very often. They're kind of they're a faction that requires a delicate touch, if you know what I mean. But over here, Sippy Sappo's Chosen are moving into the Dragon Princes of Calidor. This is going to be a really good flanking maneuver. Actually, if you push them a little farther in, he might get a little more damage. I think he's actually going to be going in with his Nurgle Chosen. Again, some more shots with these Iron Drakes, just going to be roasting a lot of these Chaos Undivided units and these Chaos Dwarves. You can see the Sisters of Avalorn shooting in again. I'm not quite sure what thinned this unit down so much. They're only at 39. It could have been a Hell Cannon shot, but they're going to be firing in. Here comes another Hell Cannon shot. Oh, man, it's going to be right into the middle of those Dragon Princes of Calidor. It is going to take them down from 56 to 39. That's going to be quite a few Dragon Princes taken out. You definitely want to keep your heavy cav like that either out of range of artillery or very mobile, because even if they're moving around, artillery is going to have to kind of move as they're moving, and if you're at the right angle or the distance, it's going to be really hard for the artillery to even load a shot in. Looks like Sippy Sappo is getting ready with some of his Khorne Chosen. They do now have, I may have mentioned this in some of my older videos, but Khorne Chosen now are anti-stun lock units, so you cannot stun lock them. They will still go through kind of a routine little kind of a block animation and block and attack, but they will no longer kind of reel back when they take damage like they used to. So it's really easy for you to send those guys in to do a lot of work, especially against some heavier units or maybe some faster attack speed units like halberds. They will not get stun locked by them, so they'll be able to do a lot of damage. These Seeds Chosen over here, however, are taking a lot of damage from those Iron Drakes. It looks like the Black Orcs are moving through. Some more shots coming in from those Iron Drakes. It looks like we're getting some beautiful crossfire. Look at that. Look at those shots coming in. That is just a ton of Iron Drake fire. We need to get on those Iron Drakes and get them out of commission as soon as we can. Looks like the Chaos Sorcerers over here are beginning to fire in to this line. Look at this long line, though. This huge engagement just kind of spans this entire, like, plateau choke point. But the Dragon Prince or Calidor are getting shot up. Trevor needs to move these guys around. He needs to keep this cav mobile and cycle charge them. That is where they shine. They are not going to do that well against Black Orcs in melee. But Trevor's going to be moving up his Lothern Sea Guard over here, and they're going to come in and help reinforce some of his cav. Hopefully he can get that cav out of there. Man, look at all this blue fire too from those Sisters of Avalorn coming in, doing a bunch of damage to these Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen. They are still about 26 in a unit. That's really not that intimidating, but you don't want to leave ranged units unattended, because Jankadoodle is firing into Spyfly's Iron Drakes and doing a bit of damage at them. If Spyfly loses his Iron Drakes, they lose a lot of leverage, and there's only 14 left in the unit, and that's down from 40. This other unit's still relatively healthy. Excuse me, guys. Relatively healthy. And he has a lot of opportunity to do some damage there. It looks like some Marauders are moving in from the side. He wants to be careful. I think they might even be moving in towards those Iron Drakes. He needs to be very, very careful over there. Over on my engagement, I have pulled out victoriously. Very, very, very close, though. I didn't have a lot left. I had some Ungor Raiders, some Chaos Warriors left. It does look like Tom Dew still has his Reichs, his Warrior Priest of Sigmar. The Steam Tank did get felled by some really strong Minotaurs, and Sippy Seppo still has a lot of Knights. I just did not have a lot left over of my base infantry. I do have a lot of Minotaurs left. But this is turned into quite the melee, guys. We've got Elves and Dwarves fighting neck and neck against Orcs and Dark Dwarves, Chaos Dwarves. We got the Chaos guys. We got the Friends of Chaos. you guys get it. But the Iron Drakes, but really though, guys, these Iron Drakes are going to be a serious problem. They're going to continue to fire in. If they get some good shots in on some light units, they're going to do a lot of damage. Again, I think they operate like a crossbow in terms of their animation, but I don't know if they have like a firearm trait, so they actually have like they ignore armor. I'm not sure if they do anymore. I know they used to, and they used to just be monstrous. They just used to just chew through units like nobody's business, even like the best units. Here comes some more shots from the Iron Drakes into some Chaos Warriors, and that's going to fell quite a few there. I think he's going to almost lose 10 Chaos Warriors in that volley. So yeah, guys, even against high armor targets, Iron Drakes can still be very effective. But here we got my Minotaur still doing a lot of work. Kind of tightly packed in these formations. They can do a lot of damage. They can support one another. Some Giant Slayers moving in, and I think these are supposed to be Dragon Slayers. I think there was just a mistype in their name. But this is actually going to be Spyfly's general unit. There are Giant Slayers as a unit, but I believe that the Dragon Slayers are the ones that are actually the general. But I don't play Dwarves that often. I haven't really played them in campaign at all, so I would have to do my homework on that just a little bit more. But they are also immune to Stunlock, just like the Khorne Chosen. However, being that lightly armored, they're going to be very, very weak to range fire. But luckily, Chaos doesn't have a lot of range fire. My Minotaurs are really going to be tearing it up against these Iron Drakes. This is obviously the healthier unit that had 37 in before. They are down to 25. It looks like Trevor C is going to be moving in a lot of his units, and Spyfly is moving in a lot of his units as well to really try and relieve the pressure on my Minotaurs. Now, my Minotaurs, they've been doing a lot of fighting this game. They fought against Tom Deuce army, and they're probably beginning to lower or lose their HP. There's the replay burp. I'm sorry, guys. It took so long to get to this point that you guys could hear that. But Jankadoodle's over here. He is still using his Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen pretty effectively. He's not decided to just throw them into melee since they're low on numbers. He's just continually using them to pick off what units he thinks are important, and they are receiving fire. But what these Iron Drakes are doing now is they're firing at these Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen, and they're not firing at the other units. It does look like the Lore Masters of Hoeth over here are getting some good shots out. I don't know who they're firing at, but they're going to be doing a lot of damage to whomever. It may have been over at some of these Chaos Knights over here. But some more shots coming from the Iron Drakes over here. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a miss. But the Celeste Chosen over here, I think they took quite a bit of shots from those Iron Drakes. You can kind of see they're spread out over here. Lots of them dead. I think there are only 51 left in a unit. So they're going to have to work pretty hard. I think the idea with Slanesh Chosen is they're actually just faster. I'm not sure. I know each Chosen has kind of their own thing that they're good at. Like Khorne Chosen being immune to Stunlock, Nurgle Chosen having 2 HP and being arguably the tankiest of the Chosen. Tzeentch Chosen have a two-handed attack, which is a pretty high damage yield. And one thing that's really kind of cool, guys, is that if you pair the Chosen up against each other, they kind of rock, paper, scissors. So, like, from my understanding is if you send in Khorne Chosen against a single unit of Nurgle Chosen, the Khorne Chosen will counter him. Not like they won't just like absolutely mop the floor with them, but they will come out on top. But Tzeentch Chosen will be Khorne Chosen, and then Nurgle Chosen will be Tzeentch Chosen. So it's kind of round robin that way, and it's really neat, and that's actually done on purpose. So again, kudos to the mod devs for such an awesome job and attention to detail. You guys have done it. You guys have made dreams true. But the Sisters of Avalorn over here are going to be fighting against some of these Senegors, and look at them. I mean, they just melted like butter. That may have been because they began to rout. And usually routing units die almost immediately as soon as you hit them. They take wounds significantly faster. Some more shots coming in from the Iron Drakes. This is a really good blob for them to fire into. Lots of light armor targets, and there are some pretty high priority targets in here as well. Some Chaos Warriors, so he could kill 2 birds with 1 stone if he gets some really good shots. Although he's going to fire in, he needs to be careful as actually roasting one of his own Giant Slayers, and there might be a little bit of a chance for some friendly fire in here, and you definitely don't want to be losing your units. Right now, it's 80% to 84%. That's pretty close. I think it is coming out in our favor just a little bit. I think for most of the game, though, it's been almost neck and neck. I do remember when we were playing, I was noticing that almost all the way up to 75%, it was almost exactly the same amount of units killed on each side, so it was getting really close. Giant Slayers over here just fighting against a single Minotaur. Minotaurs are also immune to Stunlock. There are most of these like big units like Minotaur variants, so like, oh, he's gonna die there. Like Minotaurs, for example, Yetis and Gorgers, and I think there might be 1 or 2 other unit variants that I might be missing out that basically use the same kind of Minotaur model. They're all immune to Stunlock. Ogres, however, are still Stunlockable, so that faction is not going to be just ridiculous. They are pretty strong right now, actually, in the new 1.5 beta. They're good. They were underpowered in our last build, but now they're doing really well, guys. I've really got to compliment the dev team though for how well the mod is balanced. I do think there are some factions that are still a little weak at certain things. I think it might take a little bit of time for people to figure out a way to kind of play them. I think what else might, need a little bit of strategy to them. They're definitely kind of a guerrilla faction, but they have their advantages. They're definitely very good against lightly armored armies. And yeah, guys, each faction has their strengths and weaknesses, but over here we can kind of see these engagements are actually beginning to kind of cut off from one another. We have Lothar Seaguard over here fighting against some of these Ungor Raiders, along with the Swordmaster of Hoas, but they're actually shaken, and that's not going to be good. You don't want your elite units to be exhausted and shaken like that, but they've been fighting for a long time. This has just been an incredible push for this little hillside over here. Looks like the Hell Cannon is still firing in. I don't think he's going to get any more good shots. Looks like actually one of the Hobgoblins, one of their bodies got shot. I don't know if that was killed earlier by a Hell Cannon, or if that was just, he got that far out and got taken prisoner or something. But Sisters of Avalorn are still going to be firing into some of these Infernal Guard, going to be trying to take them out, along with these Chaos Knights. And it looks like there are still some Iron Drakes someplace on the battlefield. I saw them roasting someone right there, but I don't see them now. It looks like there are some Elders, though, that kind of made their ways around the side over here. Man, there's a big engagement over here we missed. Also, I didn't even notice this during the actual battle, but it looks like Spyfly had a lot of Longbeards over here. It looks like there were some... This is an artillery? No, those are miners. They may be out of ammo at this point, but they are in melee against some of these Chaos Dwarf bodyguards, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Some really close shots coming in again and again with that Hell Cannon. It's really only going to take like one good shot to wipe out the Sisters of Avalorn unit, so I think Trevor's going to either... I think they might be out of ammo at this point. They've been firing the whole game, but he is going to dedicate them to melee. He may just be trying to get them out of line of sight of the Hell Cannon, because now it's going to be kind of hard for this Hell Cannon to fire at anything going on over there. I do know that sometimes even the artillery crews will refuse to fire because of the chance of friendly fire, but you know, guys, you just have to kind of play with it and see which builds work and kind of what line of sight works. After you use a unit for so long, you kind of get a good idea of kind of how their line of sight works and what you can and can't do. Looks like... oh, okay, here we go. Looks like that's going to be a really close shot, actually. That's going to just graze the heads of a lot of these units over here. It's going to be pretty close to this engagement over here with these Infernal Guard against these Norse Dwarf Crossbowmen. I think the Crossbowmen might actually come out on top in this engagement. The Infernal Guard are shaken. They're really not liking what's going on. There's still a big engagement going on over here, too. The Slanesh Chosen are over here. Looks like they're going to be fighting against some of these White Lions, and I don't think there are any other good aligned factions over here other than Trevor's Elves, and I think that's mostly what's left is Trevor. I think has the highest unit count left on the good faction side. I think there's still a lot of stuff over here for Spyfly, but a lot of them are crossbowmen and corlers and units that you really don't want to send into melee for too long. They're competent in melee, but they're not melee specialists. I do think maybe if he's got some Longbeards over here, maybe. No, it looks like it's mostly just Trevor's units and mostly just the High Elf units over here. Oh man, that was kind of a cool stab. But it does look like Chaos is going to be fighting an uphill battle to try and keep these Swordmasters at bay. It is getting close, too, guys. It's still 90% to 94%. Still about a 4% difference. We are beginning to kind of close the gap against the number differences. There's a fancy-looking High Elf right there. Oh, man, he's going to cut that Chaos Warrior down. So there is still a little bit of a difference, but I think it is beginning to really push in our favor. Sippy Sappo still has some really healthy units. He still has these Chaos Warriors with halberds. He still has some Marauder Desolators, and I think he's got his Chaos Warrior bodyguard and some Chaos Chosen. So he's got about 3 or 4 healthy units left. I don't think the attackers really have that much left in terms of killing power, but Sippy Sappo is going to send in his Chaos Warriors with halberds. They're going to be doing a bit of damage here. And yeah, guys, this is really turned into kind of a crazy melee. I don't really know if they have the units to pull it out at this point, although I don't know. These Giant Slayers are really strong. I'm pretty sure they're unbreakable as well. The Norse Dwarf Crossbowmen are still chewing through, and there are still some Elders, so there's still some really good units on their side. They just need to really see how they handle it. I don't know if the attackers are going to be able to outclass the defenders in terms of unit quality. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, here comes a big Hell Cannon shot right here. That's going to kill a lot of what the High Elves had over there. I think that's going to kill almost the entire unit of White Lions. They're going to be shaken. There's only going to be 4 units of them left. That's going to pretty much, though, kill what was left over there for Chaos. I think they had, they had 1 dude left over here. And as soon as they cut through him, that's going to free up these guys over here for this engagement, and they're going to have to push up. And yeah, guys, this has just been such a bloodbath. This has just been a no quarter, just go. Oh my god, I love battles like these. Just battles that are, everyone is just on the offense, everyone's just pushing the whole game. There's not a lot of kind of reserve kept. Sippy Sappo kept a few units in reserve, but I mean, you may as well, especially with all that dwarf artillery just blowing through your lines. But he's going to move up his Chaos Chosen, and they're going to just chew through what is left over here. And these Swordmasters of Hoeth unit, looks like some of those dwarves are falling as well. I think some of these Norse Dwarf Crossbowmen, I think that may have been a Longbeard unit over here. I thought I saw... No, that was a Longbeard. That was a Longbeard I saw get killed earlier. So the Longbeards are still over here. Looks like that one's going to get felled. There are only 11 in the unit, and they're beginning to shake. Looks like there are some Lothern Sea Guard over here, and some of these Lore Masters of Hoeth. I don't know if Lore Masters inspire nearby troops. They might. I would not be surprised if they did. They are 3,000 gold. They are a spellcaster unit, but they have kind of an individual shot to their projectile, so they're not going to do a whole bunch of AoE damage in a shot. They're kind of better for picking off maybe other mages or other kind of low count specialty units. So Lord Masters definitely are good in melee too. I think they've got 2 or 3 HP. So they're kind of like a mix between Skink Priests and Warrior Priests in terms of functionality. But over here we have more Lothern Sea Guard kind of pushing in, but it's just going to be a rough fight, guys. It's really going to be an uphill battle for the attackers. It's kind of funny that just a moment ago there was Chaos fighting uphill against High Elves, and now it's High Elves fighting against Chaos uphill. It's changed so quickly. It can happen that fast, fellas. But the Chaos Warriors with Halberds still are very healthy. They're getting winded a little bit, but it's just going to be too much for these High Elves. Lore Masters are doing their job, but 93% to 97%. When you get down to like these low percents, I think that's 6% of our army left and only 3% of their army left. That's a big gap. That's almost like twice our army, or twice in terms of percentages. So I think we had about the same in terms of army size. I think maybe my army was pretty big because I was mostly low-tier Beastmen. There were a lot of Bestiors, but as you guys saw, they got tore up pretty bad. I had my Minotaurs left over, and they were really good, especially this late game, being able to push them over, but I really think I needed to readjust maybe some of the balances. I think Reikland needs to be a little stronger. Beastmen maybe a little bit toned back. We did play another scenario with this, and Beastmen absolutely just took a crap all over Reikland in that other game. So, yeah, guys, if you guys have any suggestions in terms of, like, balancing, I am always free to hear those. I always really want suggestions in terms of what you guys want to see on my videos. And, you know, I mean, if y'all want to have suggestions, you know, feel free to be as specific as y'all want to be. Because I do know a lot about Warhammer, but I don't know a lot about the lore and specific battles in Warhammer. So, I mean, it would be nice for a little guidance, you know, if you guys are up for it. But anyway, guys, I'm just happy that I'm getting this video out to you guys, this 1K sub special. I'm just happy that you guys can sit back and enjoy it. And I'm just happy that you guys, if you're watching, obviously, I mean, if you're hearing me now, you're watching this. So if you're watching this, you know, it's just nice that I know that you can enjoy this, or I hope you're enjoying it anyway. That's presumptive of me to just say it like that, but you guys get what I mean. I'm happy to make videos for y'all, but it looks like the White Lions are moving in against some of these Marauder Desolators. It is kind of cool to see kind of these two-handed units fight against one another. I think their animations actually match up pretty good. The Marauder Desolator is actually doing a really good job at making this this White Lion look kind of like he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh no, he's gonna get killed. He's gonna get killed. Maybe the White Lion was just toying with him. But yeah, the Lothern Seaguard are gonna be shaken. Marauder Desolators are doing pretty good, but it's getting down to the wire, guys. 95% to 98%. Looks like there's just a few High Elves left with some Lore Masters still kind of bolstering. I think there's only like 2 or 3 Lore Masters. Yeah, I think the General is right here. He is the General in the Lore Master unit, so he actually doesn't get projectiles, which is kind of a shame. But oh no, get up! Don't let it be like this. But yeah, the General units, if you like put him in a projectile unit, they're not actually going to have a projectile. He's going to die, guys. The General is going to go down, and that's actually going to cause the rest of the Lothern Seaguard to rout. When they see that, they're going to say, "Wee! We're going to get out of here. We can run. We can make it." They're not going to chase us down and kill us. But yeah, I mean, this has been just a bloodbath. I mean, look at all the just this carpet. I mean, this is just like a huge carpet of dead units over here, just a massive line of dead guys. If we go over here, we can just see the engagement against me and Reikland was just massively bloody as well. Lots of dead Minotaurs, lots of dead Reiklanders. But this was a fantastic game. I mean, it was really close in terms of units. I think that Sippy Sappos did have a little bit left over, but it was still really close. I think that's, in terms of like the first kind of balance go at it, I think that ended up being pretty good. But that is the game, guys. Let's take a look at these kills. Yeah, we did end up having a bit larger army than them in terms of numbers. But Sippy Sappo got 1,200 kills. I got 1,600. Jankadoodle got 1,100. It looks like Trevor got 1,600 kills. Spyfly getting the most kills with 1,850. I bet he got a ton with those Iron Drakes. And then down here, Tom Bidoof got 1,042 kills. But you also need to look at how many prisoners they took, too. He took a lot prisoner. If we take a look at the battle, or at the kills, looks like Sippy Sappo got a lot of kills with his Chaos Knights. 198 with his Knight unit. 132 with the Chaos Warriors. I'm sorry, guys, with the Sorcerers of Chaos. Chaos. And then 115 with his Slanesh Chosen. That's actually really surprising because they took a lot of damage early on against those Iron Drakes. Down here for my kills, I got 204 with my Minotaurs, 117 and 128. That's a lot. My Ungors actually got 126 as well, or my Ungor Raiders, my bow unit, and then I got another one with 119, so there's a lot going on with those arrows. Down here, my Bestigors getting 155 is good too. My other Minotaur unit getting 128, so actually these two Minotaurs literally got the same amount of kills, and then two of my Centaurs got the same amount of kills at 197 for my other Centaur units. So Beastmen definitely overperformed in my opinion. Like I said, guys, I think they need to be scaled back a bit, but let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1K special. I really enjoyed playing this battle, and I really enjoyed making this video, and there's a lot more to come. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm working on. I've got faction overviews I'm going to be working on. We're probably going to be doing a tournament in about 3 or so weeks, or beginning to do registration. So if you're interested in that, please get into the Discord and let us know so we can get you in the registration. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be a ton of fun. And again, I thank you guys for your time and your support. You guys are awesome, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, I'm your host Stan, and I'll see y'all later.